The great and admirable work of the ancients. Secrets for metallic transmutation, taken from the notebooks and manuscripts of Trevisan. Separation of elements. Your growing snow-colored chaos Eastern Mountain, put it in the air for 8 weeks so that he soaks up the things of the nature, and acquires greater and shinier whiteness than in snow. From this chaos thus arranged, first draw out the mercury by ashes, chasing and giving such a fire on the end, that with the said mercury, the yellow sulfur comes out. And that this mark remains at the head of the crow. This mercury is an admirable solvent, in itself the most beautiful in the world. That crow be baked by 3 weeks, i.e. 3 days, until he changes into a white dove, and let it be an open vessel. Then separate the aforesaid mercury from its sulfur by distillation in the bath, and the sulfur will remain in the bottom in form of lees, or red gum that you will keep aside. Take your mercury thus separated from its sulfur, and put it on the dove to bathe well, as long as it is covered with 4 to 5 fingers, digests the whole at least for 3 or 4 weeks. That is, 3 or 4 days, then filter and coagulate in crystal that you will keep. Conjunction. 2 ounces of salt, 2 ounces of sulfur, 1 ounce of mercury, make conjunction at all in the matrix that is hermetically sealed. And that one of the bodies of the said matrix surrounds the other, that you fill with its mercury, for nature rejoices in its nature. And put the whole thing in putrefaction in the belly of the horse, by 9 or 10 weeks, that is to say, 9 or 10 days, the put in digestion in the fire which must be continual heat. Until the raven's head appears to you, which time shall be 8 or 8.5 years. After that it will begin to grow old and hoary, and after 40 or 42 weeks, that is to say 40 or 42 days, and at the end of that time he will become Rousseau. When he has reached this manly age, you will shoot him, for he is in his strength to bear the burden that he should dore. Of this red matter take in a weight, which you mingle with 10 weights of prepared gold, as reduced according to the Trevisan book. And in this conjunction the male attracts female, although one is distant from the other 3 or 4 fingers, as the magnet attracts iron. It's that whom the philosophers admire so much, when they speak of the time of their conjunction. So as above Gabberton will marry his sister Bia, as the king says in his Pete, that is to say that the sun will join to the first material as above. The ground will lose its shiny color and will fade. Devouring lion. This matter be set apart, after the said conjunction, into another matrix such as the first, as you did before, put it on the fire philosophical, making there appear the 6 colors. Namely the crow's head which will arrive at the same time as it is happened, when you made the perfect man, Rousseau, and in his virile age, then will come Saturn, then Jupiter, then the moon. Then Venus, then Mars, and then the sun in brilliant and dazzling color, and transparent, with a very ardent luster. To each of the said colors, namely the head of the raven, to Saturn, and to Venus, it is necessary to make increase of fire, doubling the wick of 4 threads. To each of the said colors, namely the head of the raven, to Saturn, and to Venus, it is necessary to make increase of fire, doubling the wick of 4 threads to Saturn. To Venus doubling it with 8 threads which in all make 16, and thus must continue the degree of fire, to perfect colors, and reds and lion's blood. Second and last conjunction. Of this lion's blood a share, which shall cast upon 10 of vulgar mercury, and will be perfect gold. Which sun mingled with as many moon will be more beautiful than the sun of ducat already from the beginning. Take said blood from lion apart that will throw on 10 of sun that you made by the projection only on it without putting a moon on it, however, and this sun will be reduced to purple powder. Which you cook just the same as the devouring lion did, and with same grade, but at last blood color will grow taller, and the color of field poppy, which falls 1 weight in 100 of mercury. To the other multiplications made in the same way, and which perfect in 40 or 42 weeks increasing fire, as did to the Saturn, and to the Venus, will fall on 1,000, and the third multiplication is perfected in 24 weeks, falling on 10,000, always multiplying in this way in quantity and quality. Weeks are days, years are months, philosophers. When you make the conjunction of the raw material with the gold leaves as above, it must be in a small glass tranche, placed on a tripod with only hot ashes. Although matter and the sun are 4 fingers apart, the female will attract the male as above. Being thus spouses, if you want to leave the everything in the air, you will see converting the sun into Mercury runny, but it's of little use. Praise God for these great wonders. If you want to put it in white, how do you abbreviate a lot of time? Instead of sun, take moon from lime cup. If you want to put it on its own, in will make conjunction in same dose as above. And if you want to put the moon amalgamated with Mercury prepared, 1 part lime and 1 part Mercury. Cook until white, without increasing fire, and without making the devouring lion, will have a projection of 1 weight in 100. Doing the same multiplication as you did with the sun in the operation of multiplication is that you will throw a weight of this white medicine on 10 Mercury and will be powder. Cook 40 or 42 weeks, she return to white, and so multiply likewise. Their second multiplication is done in 22 weeks, thus will decrease the time. The first peer on 100 Mercury the reduced to moon, the second multiplication goes over 1,000. To throw it on the water to convert it into wine, take of the first matter, a weight, good pulverized tartar, 2 weights, excellent spirit of wine, conjoin together, it will happen by itself. Without the handiwork, lock your conjunction in the double matrix, and cook until red, falls 1 weight in 100 of water, the first multiply as above.